Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. You're going to like them today. We got Mark Yusko. He's struggling with the XRP ruling, and so are so many others here. And we got Judge Torres news, and you're going to like it. ISO 20022, JP Morgan says a tipping point is coming. We got Volante, Ripple, BNY Mellon, ISDA, Digital Dollar Project, Ripple Partners, Dr. Martin Heisboik from Ripple, and you're going to want every bit of that. Ripple swell. And how about one technical analyst says we're still on track for a $21 XRP. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on YouTube and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, the cryptocurrency market cap is $1.23 trillion. The market is up 1.9%, but XRP is up 4.1% in the last 24 hours. How about that one? Bitcoin 29,800 plus. We see Ethereum 1862 and change, and Tether market cap is 83.6 billion plus, and XRP is 64 cents. As I said, up 4.1 on the 24 hour, but still off by 7.3 on the 7-day. Let's take a look at this. Tonight. You know, if you're an 80s guy, you'll know what's going on there. Nevertheless, join us tonight for the Digital Perspectives Mastermind Group private weekly live stream, and you can join for free. 3-day free special trial, or free trial for 3 days. Excuse me, I said that really weird. But nevertheless, look, here's the deal. Hundreds of people in this group are getting their financial literacy together, and they're surrounding themselves with like-minded people that are helping each other get to where they want to be and to achieve their goals to financial freedom. That's what we're doing inside of this group, and it's happening every single day. Join, click the link, make the investment in yourself. You got 3 days to check out the group. You're going to love it. You'll be glad you did. We'll see you inside tonight at 6 p.m. Well, this was from back in September 22. Let me play this for a second. This is ETHgate. It's why they attacked XRP, ADA, and others. It's why the ETH whales are disguised. It's why they did the Hinman speech and gave ETH only the free pass. It's why Ripple wins. Absolutely right. Here we go.
Do you think that VCs overlook the Cardano ecosystem?
Some do, some don't. It just depends on the location. Is it a family office? Is it certainly A16Z and others are like Cardano. But the problem is that we didn't.
Why do you think that is?
Because we didn't have any Ponzonomics for them. I mean, let's be honest here. The vast majority of VCs, let's just be honest, the way they approach it is liquidity. So they say, when is the token coming out? Where's the marketplace for the token going to be? Do I get an early distribution? How do I exit that early distribution when the retail people come in? And you've seen numerous layer ones and dApps, we won't name names, where they launch to market at a very high valuation. The insiders dump, they go down, and they walk away with a lot of money.
That's the deal, and this is exactly why Judge Torres made the ruling about early sales. Now, ETH investors are in violation of securities laws as it applies to early sales. Don't believe it, it's still true. Careful what you wish for out here, because you just may get it. And they did. But they didn't think for a moment it would be them in the firing line. That's where we are today, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you, there is a lot of confusion out here. Shout out to Darren Moore, who just sat down and had a conversation with Mark Yusko here, who is absolutely struggling to understand the Ripple decision. This is very key to where we're going. So I'm not just showing you this to show you this. Take a listen to this clip here.
That are being proposed for the XRP ledger, and how you feel about the XRP ledger in general.
I struggle with XRP, and I take a lot of grief for this, in the communities. I'm open to the idea that it's a better rail, and that if you could get banks and brokerage firms and insurance companies and the like to integrate it, it could work. But at least so far as I can tell, there's very little evidence. There's lots of announcements with very little behind it. And I think the idea is elegant. I think Brad's a very smart guy. I think I hate the way they issued it, and so does the SEC, because they deemed it a security issuance, which it was.
A few moments later.
That's what I'm really interested in with the case. Now, a lot of people have told me that it's definitely going to be appealed. A lot of people told me it's definitely not going to be appealed.
Yeah, well, they filed the appeal, right? And whether that appeal works or whether it gets tossed because of the point that you make, we'll see. And they're appealing not the whole ruling, but parts of the ruling, as I understand it. And
is this guy in a Bill Hinman thread, email thread? The SEC has not publicly filed an appeal as of yet. Now, I'm not saying that they won't, but I don't know where this guy's getting his information from. And as far as it goes, as Ripple only has a few banks, we have a lot of banks. As far as there's little behind it when it's announced, these partnerships and relationships. Let me tell you something. There are no banks with Bitcoin. There is even less behind Bitcoin. I don't know what moral effing high ground you think you're standing on here, fella, but I can tell you something. Just because you got more money than somebody doesn't mean you're smarter than them, and this clip proves it. I'm going to tell you right now, XRP is not a security, and he's trying to say that it is. The reality here is that anything that is not registered as of right now in the early sales of a token project is an unregistered security because of the investment contract with VCs on the back end. If you're selling pre-market and it's not a founder, right? That's what Judge Torres has ruled on as according to securities law. So, look, I'd rather hear somebody ask him and get him to play him the clip of Special Agent Rana Sayad from the Department of Homeland Security professing that they have already identified the 4 Satoshis, interviewed them, and why are the other government agencies like the CFTC, the SEC, Gary Goldman Gensler, and people like Mark Yusko and Michael Saylor insisting that it is not identified. Satoshi Nakamoto is identified. And for all of these hedge funds who are taking a position in an asset and not publicly disclosing who those identities are in violation. Make no mistake about it, of public disclosures. And here's a reminder you're going to want, as I told you in the opener of this. I don't need to play the clip here. Nothing less than the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Torres has never been reversed on appeal from her summary judgment in her career on the bench. How about them apples? Yeah. Here's a clip from JP Morgan talking about ISO 20022. I want you to hear what they're saying because we're at a tipping point, especially when we get ready to onboard and connect the ISO 20022 messaging with the largest currencies in the world, like the US dollar and the euro. Fed now, ladies and gentlemen, Fed now.
Efficiency at the same time. Now, from a timeline perspective, I think it's important to note that ISO 20022 is not necessarily new. It's been actually adopted by many low-value real-time payments or high-value payment systems in over 70 countries. However, what's significant in the next couple of years is that as high-value payment systems for major currencies, such as euro, US dollar, and GBP, will be moving to ISO, all of a sudden we have a tipping point and a critical mass in that over 80% of the world's transactions or the world's payment will be processed through ISO standards.
And there you have that. Look, let's look at the contrast. That's what this is all about here. Mark Yusko, the tipping point is coming for ISO 20022. Charles Hoskinson actually ended up turning on all of the XRP holders who were right. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. It was facts, right? And that's what I'm talking about here. Look, the next few pieces of information I'm going to show you, you're going to want to see, but I'm trying to create the contrast of what's really going on here. The industry that is understanding what the implications of this ruling are moving towards adoption. The early tribalist and the early in Bitcoin, Ethereum crowd are stuck. They don't know how to process what has just taken place. And by the way, here's another little fun fact. Judge Torres ruled that XRP in and of itself is not a security. Great. Early sales, they chalk those up to unregistered securities because of investment contracts. They can go to trial and they can argue all of that out if they want. That's great too. But here's what we need to understand. Judge Rakoff came in and threw a stick in the crypto bicycle spokes. And now the rest of the cryptocurrency market is going over the handlebars. Because when Judge Torres came out and made that decision was speaking not only directly to Ripple, the company, and XRP, the digital asset, it was also implying to the rest of the crypto space, here's what we have, and until something else comes along, it could be used as a foundation for where we're going. But then enter Judge Rakoff. Judge Rakoff comes in and goes the opposite way of Torres for the moment. Now that isolates Judge Torres's ruling. No longer is it speaking to the rest of the crypto space. It is now speaking only to Ripple and XRP at this point because Judge Rakoff has put a stick in the spokes and everybody else is over the handlebars. I share this with you because I'm telling you, we are in that phase where the market is trying to understand the ruling. I believe even to a degree, even Ripple is trying to process exactly what the ruling means and where they can go and where they can't, right? So, what do we know about this? We know Volante, Ripple partner, BNY Mellon, Ripple partner. Look, BNY Mellon, a Ripple partner, Tim Keeney, formerly of BNY Mellon, responsible for 25% of global institutional assets, sits on the board at PolySign. PolySign could be a great acquisition or a bolt-on or tuck-in company for a bank like BNY Mellon. I believe that's why Tim Keeney is actually there, to help round out the digital asset custody for BNY Mellon. That's what I personally believe, and I could be wrong. I am speculating. But at the same time, Ripple joins ISDA, the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, which settles more than $1 quadrillion worth of settlement of clearing derivatives, right? That's what we're talking about here. This is all happening while everyone else is arguing over what they still think XRP is. No one in ISDA is confused about what it is. No one is confused in the Digital Dollar Project and the BDO Bank of Philippines and the Rack Bank of Dubai team, which I believe is also a Ripple partner, if my memory serves me correctly. Certainly a collaborator of some sort, if nonetheless. So look, here's what I'm showing you here. Dr. Martin Heisboik, research and development at a little exchange called Uphold, which is not so little. Shout out to Uphold. Shout out to Dr. Martin Heisboik. I'm showing you this because he's also celebrating the connection between ISDA that dominates $1.2 quadrillion worth of derivatives market here, alongside of JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, BlackRock, and others, Citigroup. Ripple joins them because they're going to help settle all of that. That's why they're there. And there were influencers and trolls and everyone else who told us we weren't allowed to talk about it. We were not allowed to be enthusiastic about it because the market was down. They said we were all dreamers and conspiracy theorists until we weren't. And we are not. That's where we're at today, ladies and gentlemen. UAE plans a national carbon credit system. Ripple founds a new carbon credit data platform. Guess where Ripple's swell is this year? Dubai. Any questions? And people out here are telling us we don't have the right to talk about XRP going above $1 because it hasn't done it in a long time. We can't talk about a $10 or $13. We're not allowed to talk about $100, $1,000, $10,000 XRP. Would these, you know what the question I have is, would these people have been the same people during Bitcoin's run when it was 10 cent, 50 cent, $1, telling everybody, don't talk about that, it could be a high price. I can't handle it. You know, if you're scared, say you're scared, right? I don't have time for this. Technical analyst Coins Kid says here he believes XRP is still on track to rally to $21 price target, with things being what they are right now. That is not financial advice from him, me, or anyone else. It's just our digital perspectives. I tell you, I couldn't be more excited about where we are in this moment, because I believe we are waiting for the rest of the world to wake up to what exactly this ruling means by Judge Torres, and exactly what the stick in the spokes from Judge Rakoff has done to the rest of the crypto industry. And if John Deaton is right, and I believe that he is, that we won't get broader crypto legislation for at least another 2 years. And if that be the case, we could hope for stablecoin legislation, which I believe will be necessary. But the reality is that leaves XRP as the only digital asset in the United States with legal clarity. And why in the world wouldn't $21 be a legitimate conversation, or even more, is beyond me. I'll catch all of you on the next one.